Hello, today I will show you how to turn an existing Streamlit application and turn it into a full stack application written in Flask and React. And what's the best part? You don't even need to know anything about React, JavaScript, or even Flask. And we'll try to rely entirely on ChatGPT to convert our application. Let's find out if we can do it. In one of my previous videos, I created this chatbot, like a kind of a ChatGPT clone using Streamlit and OpenAI API. So let me just run it. Streamlit run, and we use chatbot. Let me just run it to show you what I mean. And this is my own ChatGPT. Hi, I'm Chris. And okay, how can I assist you today? Give me a quote to motivate me to work harder. Okay, cool. So it's a functional ChatGPT, or we're using GPT 3.5 Turbo in this case. And we will now try to convert this code. This is not too much. It's like 46 lines of code, and we will try to convert it into Flask and React app. And for that, I've already prepared a prompt. And it says, I've created a project in Python, here it is, and paste your code here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just copying the code and place it here. And if you noticed, I separated the project using project tags, like this kind of XML tags. And that's a good practice to prompt, because that's a clear way to separate project from instructions. And that's where instructions start. I want you to convert it to a full stack app written in Flask and React. I want a complete end-to-end implementation without any omitted parts. You must include all necessary imports, functions, and configs from the original code. The functionality must remain identical, and the graphical user interface must contain the same components. Provide the step-by-step guide on how to create the converted application, including bash commands and the entire code. And I'm just giving my operation system. And that's what I'm going to copy and head to, you guessed it, ChatGPT. And I'm using GPT-4. And I hope my custom instructions are off, are disabled. Okay, I'm just copy pasting. And it's time to press enter. So it's generating a response. And I get back to you when it's done. Okay, we've got the full answer. And my goal is to just follow the step-by-step guide and see if the application in Flask and React will work for me, like the same as the Streamlit application did. The first step is to create a project folder and then go there. But the README file I showed you was already in this folder I've created for this project. So but I will skip this step and move immediately to the second step. I just copy it and create a virtual length and activate it with source. Okay, cool. The next step is installing necessary packages. So let me do it too. When you run it for the first time, it should take slightly longer, but because I've tested, I've got all cached, so it was pretty fast. And what's the next step? Create your Flask app.py. Okay, and then it's given me the code. I just copy the code already. and create app.py and paste it here, save. Okay, so that's it for the backend part, and set up the front end and React. And again, it's telling me to install npm and Node.js, which I already have on my computer, so I hope that this is the right way of doing it right now, but I will again move immediately to the second step and just let me clear and paste it. And again, it will take, I think, like 2 minutes, and I'll get back to you then. Okay, cool. It's all installed and it's already moved to this front-end part. And when I go to the project, you can see that this ChatGPT front-end part is all here. And with this Create React app, we've got like a full front-end project. And what's the most interesting for us is the SRC folder with the source code. And those two files, this is app.css for style, and this is for app.js for JavaScript code. Okay, and let's see what was the next step. Okay, we've done that, and with npm we will need a package. So npm is like the equivalent for pip install in Python. So we'll use npm to install a package that we will use, Axios, and then okay, it's installed, and then I just copy code and place it in app.js. Okay, I'm in app.js and save it. Okay, so I've got the code. And okay, the next step is to run the backend. But I think I will just open a new terminal for frontend, and this one will be for my backend. I just need to go back to the root to the project directory, and then just copy this and paste. Okay, OpenAI key. Okay, let's see if ChatGPT can help me. I just copy this and say, when I run Flask app, I get this. It won't really help me probably, but yeah, let's wait for the answer. Okay, so the answer is actually helpful that I need this OpenAI API key in my .env file, and it says that make sure that your .env file with API key is located in the same directory as your app.py. Let me just go back to the project. And okay, this is the front end. This is app.py. I create .env. And what does it say? OpenAI. Okay, so I just copy it, paste it here. And I need the OpenAI API key. And I think I'll just show you again how to do it. I go to platform openai.com. Maybe I just make it slightly bigger, and then view API keys. And I need to create a new secret key. I'll just name it React, then create secret key, and it's generated the API key. I'll just copy it, and it's very important to immediately paste it and save it, because once I click on done, I won't be able to see it again. So I click done, and I've got it. Okay, cool. And it's here. And let's see if I can just run my Flask application again. I clear again and type Flask run. Okay, it seems that the Flask application is running right now. And let me just go back. Where were we? Okay, and to run in the separate terminal, navigate to the ChatGPT frontend directory and start the React app. So let me just open the second terminal. I'll just make it bigger for you and run npm start. And let's see what happens. And it's starting the frontend application. Okay, and it's already given me some kind of chat, which, for your reminder, that's what it looked like. And of course, it doesn't look like the original, but it's not too bad. Let me just, I just clicked right click and then inspect just to see what's happening here. That's how we can also view if your JavaScript code runs correctly. So let me just test something again. Hi, I'm Chris. And I try to send it. Okay, I've got the error. And because the idea for this project is to rely only on ChatGPT, I just copy it, go back to my ChatGPT, and I say, when I click send, I get this. Okay, cool. We've got the answer. So it mentions course and it says install the Flask course package. Okay, let's go back to the Flask. I need to stop it. Install Flask course. And then it mentions that I need to import it and then activate. I just use this code because it's repeated. And let me just see if that works. App. Okay. I save it. And let's try to run Flask again. Let's go back to the app. Let's refresh. Okay, let me test it. I'm Chris. Send. Hello, Chris. How can I assist you today? Give me a quote to motivate me to work harder. Okay. Okay, it's even given me the exact same quote. Got the first success, like the application works and it's created with Flask and React. And let's just do some style improvements. Okay, so without like specifying what I want, because of course it should look like a chat, which means I want this to look better and I want to differentiate between my messages and assistant messages. So let me just tell it this. I want to improve styles. Let's make it look like a modern chat application. And let's see what happens. Okay, it's generated the response. So again, I didn't really specify what I want, but I just said modern chat application. And it says, we'll use CSS for simplicity. But it says, okay, let's improve the styling for your chat application to make it look more modern. And let's use plain CSS. And it says, clear out any existing styles and replace them with the following. So again, we've got app.css. I just copy it, and it's in src app.css. I just paste it. And what's interesting, it's already like created CSS classes for user and assistant. So this is the common styles, and this is how it will differentiate user and assistant messages with background color. And going back here, it says that in app.js, I just need to replace this return part. So I just copy it, and that's the return part. I paste it, save it, and go back to our app. Okay, what do you know? It looks already much better. So we can clearly differentiate between like user messages and chatbot messages. And this input looks much better. The button looks much better. So let me just maybe type something. Give me one more quote. And when I press enter, nothing happens, which is really annoying because that's a normal user's experience to press enter when you want to send a message. And the application still works because it's given me another quote, but we didn't change anything in a logic or on the backend part, so we were expecting that to work. Okay, so I just asked it to, I said I want to send messages on enter without having to click on the send button, and let's just see if it works. And okay, it's given me this const handle key press. I just copy it, and because one of the consts is already here, I just paste it there, and then input. Where is my input and button? Okay, I just need to change my input element. Okay, and let's see how it works. Let's just do the same. I'm on Chris. I pressed enter, so it's work on enter. Give me a quote that will motivate me to work harder. Okay, it's working. Cool. Let's just see if it remembers the history. Give me another one. Because if it remembers, it will give me a quote. Yeah, okay, cool. So I think that's where I will end this video. And so we went from a simple chatbot with Streamlit to the fully functional Flask and React app, relying almost entirely on ChatGPT. And I just want you to notice that my instructions were very basic. Like, I was acting as a person who really doesn't know what to do. And although I ran this kind of projects previously, I just said, like, I want to send messages to on enter without having to click the send button. This is something that anybody can write, like zero design experience required. And in the previous messages, it was also very basic, like, let's make it look like a modern chat application. So I didn't specify anything like CSS or JavaScript related. And if you look here, I only described what I was seeing. Like, when I click this, I get this, which only shows how powerful those large language models are, because they understand what we mean. And I didn't even use anything that is related to React. And I'm saying this because I want really to encourage you to experiment, and I want to inspire you to try new things using ChatGPT and GPT-4. I'm choosing React because I know it and I can validate how good the answers from ChatGPT are. But since using ChatGPT, I've tried many new things like programming languages, new technologies like WordPress or PHP that I had no clue about. So I hope that you will take this example and just try and experiment with new technologies, having ChatGPT as your backup. So thank you for today, and I'll see you in the next one.